What's up, everybody? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 178. We are recording on February 28th, 2022. I'm, once again, your temporary host, Warren. Joining me is my co-host, Anita.
Hello.
Hello. Quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the nation. Boom. No Doug again.
Yeah.
Just you and me. One more time. One more week, Anita. Just you and my Ramble Fest. One last ride between you and me. I'm assuming we're gonna have people who are confused by the time Doug shows up. They're gonna be like, "Who is this? Who is this guy?"
No.
If you've never met Doug, if you don't know who this Doug person is, he is a tiny little human being. Really likes boy groups. Is a huge Super Junior fan. That's who he is.
Doug slander here.
That's totally who he is. Anyways, do you have any announcements for the day, Anita?
No announcements for today.
Okay. That means we are at part 1 of episode 178, where we discuss big new releases, choose a spicy song king, and hit you with them music show winners. Ba-boom. All right. We have some really big new releases this week.
Big debut.
Some big stuff. Lots of things to say. We're gonna have a pretty long episode, I imagine, today. But hey, Tuesday, February 22nd, we're starting off with a debut of NMIXX with their hot debut. I believe that is how it is pronounced or read. They are from none other than JYP Entertainment. They have debuted in 2022. Their last song is non-existent, obviously, because it is their debut. And they are a 7-member group composed of Lily, Haewon, Seolyun, Jinny, Bae, Jiwoo, and Gyujin. If you have not heard anybody talk about this song so far, well, you're in for a treat.
It's been a point of discussion.
I've seen a lot of discussions about this track. Everyone's pitched in with their opinions about this track. Last Twitch stream, I sat down to talk about it because I had to. My opinions they've changed a little bit. I am not gonna lie. But before I get into that, because I've already spoiled how I feel about this a little bit, how do you feel about this track, Anita?
Well, I also had a couple of listens in. First reaction was that of confusion.
Okay.
Confusion because I guess the few things, right? I didn't keep up a ton, but the few things that I did see pre-debut, like teasers and the videos of the members that they had set up, I did not think we were going to go this route at all. I think the teaser images were there, but the sound itself, so like the vibe, the sound that they were going with in this debut was not something that was kind of hinted at, I guess.
Nope.
It came out of left field, in my opinion. But after a couple of listens, I understand to some extent what the purpose, I guess, the idea was, right, behind some of these choices. I just don't know if it was executed well.
Okay, here's the deal. Of every sentence you said so far about this track, I have like 5 more sentences to say.
Okay.
Right now, I know. Here's the deal. I don't want to make this episode 12 hours long. So here's what I did. Right. I brought in some slides that can serve as talking points for today. If you're watching the YouTube, there are some words on the screen now. If you are not, you're not missing out on much. There's just words on the screen. Right. Yeah. Right now, we're just talking about our overall thoughts. And overall, with you, Anita, I kind of agree. It's a very confusing track, but their overall strategy is kind of clear if you think a little bit about it. But let's talk about what you first said, right? It's a little confusing, right? We're doing a mashup of different songs. We're taking Bailey Funk, which is South American or Brazilian variations of funk music, and then we also have a middle section that's more of a punk rock. I think the fans are calling it superhero section.
Oh yeah. In the chorus, I think that the chorus of that section, there's that line, superhero.
Right. They mentioned superhero a couple times. That's like their whole like motif during that section of the song.
Correct.
Which means that the rest of the song doesn't have that motif, because this song itself has a pretty interesting not K-pop conforming structure of a what people like to call an ABA structure, right? Now if you're not in middle school yet, or if you forgot everything about middle school music class like I did myself,
or poetry, I feel like you could reference this to poetry as far as structure.
I don't remember anything from literature class, Anita.
Okay.
Who is Great Gatsby? I don't know who that is. So here's the deal. Real quick, let me give you a rundown about how music structure typically works, right?
Visual aids here.
There's more visual on the screen now. If you're listening audio, I will leave a link to view these images in the description or put it on the Twitter. Somehow I'll do it like that. But typically a K-pop song has an intro, then it does a verse, a build up into a chorus. That's like usually the first big chunk of a track, usually about a minute to a minute and a half or so, right? And then it kind of goes back and does another verse, another builds up, and another chorus, right? Kind of parallels each other, right? And then you do a bridge, and then maybe if you want to get funky, there's a dance break, and then then you get to the final chorus. There's an outro, right? That's how typically pop music works, especially with K-pop. That's not to say, however, that that's the applicable case for every K-pop song, right? Like, for example, NHYPEN had Blessed Cursed, which began with the chorus right after the intro, right?
Yeah, some that has also been a trend, starting with the chorus.
Right. And it makes sense, because a chorus is usually the most interesting part of a pop song, right? So you want to start with that and then grab as many ears as much as possible. So that's also a structure that kind of works. It has a bit of a W structure in terms of emotions, if you want to think about it that way. NMIXX, with their song Oh, begins with the intro, right? Does the verse, does a build up, does a chorus. And then they change up the entire song and does another intro. And then they go into the chorus again. Then they do a verse and then a build up into a chorus that sounds completely different and more matching the first sound. And then they do an outro. So, right. So this is where I'm saying it's more of an ABA format. And to get into more of the specifics, I don't know if people can see on the screen right now. But what's going on here is there's a whole A section, which is the Bailey Funk trap thing that I mentioned earlier, right? The brass bum 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 bum, that thing, the verse is all the rap and the zero coke part, and then once you finish up the first run of the chorus, you go into the pop punk rock part, which is NMIXX.
Can I also mention that section, so section B, the superhero pop punk rock bit, the melody reminded me of George Michael's song from way back when called Freedom 90. So this song, the listeners who might be able to recognize what I'm referencing might be very small, like the number of people that know this song, but I remember this song because it was used in a commercial for a credit card.
So you're saying it sounds like a credit card commercial song now?
Oh, like for some reason, my mind was like, I don't know. For some reason, I associate this section of this song to a commercial because of that sound. I don't want to say that it's exactly the same song, like any sort of similar melodies, but there was something about it that reminded me of that song from George Michael. And its usage. And so I was like, oh, this seems very... And I feel like maybe along with like the product placement that we already introduced you in the section A, I kind of associated that as well, maybe. And I felt like, oh, is this another commercial? Are we doing more product placement? But I don't know. I guess it was very interesting.
Yeah, and I would say
it was interesting. I would say that I would have wanted to see what they would have done more with this. Like, where could this have gone if it was a full song? Just because it's not as typical dance track, I guess, as other K-pop debuts.
No, yeah, it almost felt like something I imagined ITZY might do. It has like a bit of positive energy to it, and that which I associate to that group a little bit. At the same time, we've been seeing a lot more punk rock sounds, inspired sounds in K-pop. So that part, I think, for the most part, made sense. The Section A Bailey funk trap part, that also kind of makes sense in the aspect that, it kind of goes along the loud, energetic, badass trap music sounds you've been getting in K-pop. So in that aspect, each section themselves, as much as people have been saying this, could be a fine song on its own. Of course, they would need a full run of 3 or 4 minutes, to make a complete track. It wouldn't just be a minute and, call it a song. So those each of those sections sell itself really, really well. But what stood out to me more is they have Section A, then they juxtapose it with the superhero punk pop thing, and then they go back into Section A, and none of that happens with any proper transitions. It happens without any pacing, right? There's no like, oh, we're gonna start transitioning, get ready kind of deal. It just drops it in there and expects you to follow. That's my takeaway with the track. They make transitions and they're like, I don't care if you're following or not. We just want your eyes to go really, really big, per the lyrics, per the theme, right? And that's what they're going for here. That's what they're going for with this track. And the thing with this set of structures is that they could have had a situation where each section is well transitioned and it's a lot easier to listen to, right? They could have done like a more noticeable, slower shift in the BPM, maybe. They could have shifted the second chorus run into after the second build up, right? So that the build up and the verse of the chorus come in the more familiar order.
Yeah.
There's so many things they could have done that bring, a much more of a followable transition and a structure, but they didn't. They didn't. But
I think that is also a choice, though.
It is.
To not do it.
Right.
I just don't know. I don't know if it's. Do you want to emphasize shock factor? Instead of it being
good,
more cohesive. But I guess I mean, the amount of publicity that this song has gotten because of how jarring it is, I guess that also says something.
Let's talk about that in a bit of a second, right? Because I don't think the structure itself is the only thing contributing to like the negative reactions to the song.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because if you think about it, right, we already talked about this. The whole song begins with like a slower rap part, and that was what threw me off in the beginning. Because for one, the tempo is different, and then we slowly go back up into the tempo that we began with in the intro. And the rap is not good.
Can I say something that I noticed from the beginning when that rap started? And I don't know if it's just me picking it up, but I thought the vocal production, like the vocal quality, was a bit off. I don't know, like it sounds either too loud or like too quiet, like too behind the instrumental. I don't know. I just felt like when I was hearing some of the girls singing, I thought like, oh, this sounds too loud, like too forward, or like not matching the instrumental. And then I think there was a certain point where Lily was singing and she does like a high note, and I feel like it sounded a little muffled. I don't know if that also has something to do with it, but it just felt like it wasn't all together, like instrumental vocals.
I did feel like the mix is a little less crisp in the Section A parts. Once you hit the superhero section, I think it sounds fine.
Was fine, yeah.
Right. But like even in the third run of the chorus or the second run of chorus A, that was. I don't know their individual names yet, but I know there's one person who's like half American, half Korean.
I believe that's Lily.
Lily, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, we're talking about the same person. Her voice was not crisp, and it may be her voice tone, Right. Yeah. But it sounds it sounded like they cut off the highs a little too much. I don't know. I'm not a mixing engineer here. I know how to use an equalizer. That's it. But I do see what you mean. I do think the production, the vocal mix there was a little and then I don't know. The whole decision to start with the rap itself was just felt like not a good idea, because the transitions aside, the jarring transitions aside, that part felt like the weakest part of the entire track. Because if you think about the rest of the track, the members do a great job of singing, right? This track, I feel like, is technically speaking incredibly difficult to sing. There's the biggest part for me is all the BPM and tempo changes that happen left and right without any room for like practice. Like, you can't just tap yourself into a transition here because there is no transition. So essentially, you have to go along with the tempo and just sing in rhythm, which, if you've done music to any degree, that's very difficult, right? Especially, like, I don't know, it's like JYP conducting in the pit or something. Like, if that's the case, if he's like conducting the girls, like, oh, slow down, then I'll be like, whatever. But like, otherwise, like, that's difficult to pull off. And the chorus itself felt very high, for the lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And I, for the most part, I was very convinced that they are able to pull it off. Yeah, the mix was a little not great, but at the same time, I think the singing capabilities of these people themselves, I think, were like really nice.
I feel like it's not really a matter of like if they couldn't pull it off, because I feel like given enough time, given enough practice, they could get there. It's just that why make it so difficult where it's not really enhancing the group in a way,
Oh, okay.
It feels like we're fighting against this song. Like, yeah, it's a cool idea, interesting idea, but like, it's not emphasizing what we want to emphasize the best way, in my opinion.
I kind of see what you mean, but at the same time, I felt like the chorus was one of the strongest parts of the song, especially with Section A. The that part, like, I felt like was like super catchy, and like so like it felt like rice cakes, just like chewy, if anything. I don't know. That part I think was really nice, and like, I understand that it's like a very vocally difficult part to perform, but I don't know, for that aspect, I think it was like worth it. What wasn't worth it was the product placement you mentioned earlier, right?
Coca-Cola, Coke Zero.
Right. And my question is, did that have to okay, we start off with the intro, which I think was fine, and then you do the rap, which I don't think was a great way to start and introduce these members, and then you go into check out Popcorn and Zero Coke.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Coca-Cola, apparently, which I think is fine, but like, for me, it was not a good look. Starting off with, ooh, they're not very good at rapping, and then, ooh, commercial?
Product placement.
Yeah. So that whole section in the beginning for me was an instant, immediate turnoff, and then everything after that was like, transitions, a whole nother story, but like individual sections I think were like understandably nice, well done. Like the chorus wasn't obnoxiously loud. Sure, it was banging and it was loud, but it was like I kind of like this loudness, not like, oh, this is too loud and obnoxious kind of loudness. Same with the pop punk rock part, which I felt like without the transitions accounted for, it was nice once I got used to it, You want to say anything about the lyrics too? Because I know you talked about that briefly before we started recording.
Yeah, well, I mean, the lyrics, they do kind of do a little bit of a self-reference, right? Like, we're starting out, like, this is just a teaser, like,
right.
I think, that was one of the lines I remember the most, where you say like, oh, this is just a teaser, don't be so surprised, calm down. And I feel like, okay, I see that, but it's, I don't know, I feel like we've kind of mentioned this in the case of aespa, right, where they do a lot of self-referencing, a lot of their setup, right? To their concept, their lore. And I don't think they have a specific lore yet. Don't they? They might. I just didn't think it was as obvious. I just thought like it was a little bit more subtle here. But at the same time, I feel like, once again, I don't know if we want to be doing so much setup, right? We're still teasing, right? Like this is the debut, you know? Like we shouldn't be expecting more because this is the first performance. Like this is not practice, right? Like this is the world stage. So I don't know. I feel like I understand it. I see where the idea is going once again, but I don't know. It still leaves me expecting more, as it was with aespa, right? So I feel like, I guess there is a sense of wanting to see more because this was so odd, but I don't know. I guess it also has this risk of being so off-putting because it was so jarring that the expectations are so much like, let's please do a little bit different than this. But in what route?
And it feels very JYP to start off with a song like this, especially after Dala Dala, which was a debut of ITZY, which had also a very, in a big picture reference, it was also similar in the aspect that it began with, oh, I am different from you guys all. I think differently, you know, I'm very confident about all this. Watch me rise to the top. That was the attitude ITZY came in with. Right. And in a larger perspective, NMIXX is kind of matching that over here as well, except here, the lyrics are a lot more abstract about it. Almost swaggier, if anything. That feels weird to say, but like, you know, it's a lot less of I am strong and I have, you know, look at my high attitude. It's more like, here are the things that reference my, you know, strong confidence levels, you know, like, so in that aspect, I understand what they're going for. At the same time, I think the individual word choices was kind of confusing. Like, okay, I get the song title is Oh, but like, did it really have to have a wuk wuk shook shook zoom zoom good pop pop open boom section shoot hoot hoot soon?
Honestly, that was one of the most confusing parts in the rap. That whole shoot.
The whole rap part begins with wuk wuk. Hey, look at that moving eyes. I'm like, okay, I see what you're referring to, but like, did he really need a wuk wuk? You know, like Chewbacca. Look, and I liked it. I liked some parts of it. I'm not gonna lie. There was a part near the end where they go, 어때.
Oh, that was nice. I like that part.
Right. And then they go into 좋아, and then they say 이응, which is Korean text slang for yeah. So it's like, okay, you're taking those two circles and interpreting it into a visual format as well as a Korean format, which, you know, they do that throughout this song repeatedly, right? They do the 0 equals infinity thing as well, right? Like that's a whole thing. So I understand they took one motif, I guess, and then they split it.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it's a little difficult to follow. It's pretty unfriendly is the word I would go for here. Okay, we talked about the production. We talked about this actually. Do you have anything more to say about individual member performances? Because they were kind of impressive, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, I think the music video did a good job of getting me curious about specific members that I didn't already know about, because I think I already knew about Lily.
Did you?
And we've talked about a couple of more members on their teasers, right? On their building up to the debut. But there were a couple of members in the music video where I was like, oh, they were on the center, and I was like, oh, this person is doing really well. Like their performance was really nice. And I wish there would have been a little bit more of that. I feel like there's a couple of members where I'm like, when I see them as a group, I was like, I don't really remember them in the music video. But I don't know. I think it was getting there. There's a couple of more members that I remember now, but I don't remember everyone. I don't remember everybody.
I honestly don't remember anybody except Billlie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember a couple of people. I can't put faces to names yet, but I remember them a little bit more because of like, for example, oh, I don't remember her name, but she's the girl who does the transition from the section A to section B.
The one who falls down the door?
Correct. Yes. Okay. Like I remember her a lot. I think her name is
Kyujin?
Yeah, I think it was her, and I remember her a lot because she was in the center a lot, and she had that part, like that transitioning part, and I thought that was really vital to the shift of the song. So there were members like that where I feel like they were kind of key into transitioning, so I kind of remember them more. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, I didn't think all of the members were as visible, I guess, as they could have been. So I wish that would have been something that would have been added a little bit more, but I guess I'm curious to see them.
I kind of agree with you. And like to channel the missing Doug in the room here, he often likes to point out whenever like it's difficult. For rookie groups especially, he's always looking to characterize each individual member.
To see them.
Mm-hmm. Right. He wants to know who they are throughout the music video and throughout the song. And for me, besides Lily, who clearly stands out because she's not fully Korean and like has a different hairstyle from everybody else. Besides her, it's difficult to characterize who each person was. And I remember the person who fell down the door. I don't remember where she was outside of that part. Maybe it's me being unattentive or so, I guess. But I've seen the music video like 20 times at this point. So in terms of the way JYP handled Twice's debut, and then you have ITZY's debut, this one stands out in terms of, it feels like they focused a lot more on the group rather than the individual members' characterizations. Okay. Yeah. Moving on. Choreo. This is kind of controversial in Korea right now.
You mentioned this.
I mentioned this briefly. People have been saying that they're not good. Is what it is, and there's clips floating around of them not being in sync when they're dancing.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know much about choreo, so honestly, I don't know if they're nitpicking or not. But we do have Professor Anita in the room.
Professor. I'm not an expert either, but from the clips that I've seen, right, and I think you showed me a couple too of individual shots of the members doing the same choreo. The general feeling I'm getting is that certain members are doing or interpreting certain moves differently. So they're not all doing the same move the same way. And to be honest, on a personal level, I don't think that is usually a problem. And I think it's usually like the norm. I don't think everybody in a group does it exactly the same, any sort of move. And you can kind of see it more when it's individual shots. So that stands out. But as from the footage that I've seen of them were dancing together as a group, I think they did the studio chum performance. And I watched that. I didn't think it was that obvious or that apparent that they were not that in sync. But I did notice, like, some of the members are doing the moves differently. I don't think it's to the extent where it's super obvious if you're not looking for it.
I will admit, I didn't notice it until other people started pointing it out. Because for the most part, I was pretty impressed with the choreo.
Yeah, I think the choreo is very, very nice, very hype. There's a lot of like floor work, a lot of like there's a swing in the superhero bit, and a lot of transitions that I don't know how they make it work because it's so jarring. Like there's not a lot of like time to like really set up and switch, but yeah.
In the very beginning, when they were doing the rap, they took another member's leg and then they started shooting it like a gun. And I was like, this is so stupid. I love it. You know, like, stupid's not the right word. It was almost absurd. But like looking at him and then doing it and then taking them so seriously, I was like, man, I'm kind of convinced. Not with the rap, but the video,
I think the choreo was pretty creative. I think it was nice. It matched each of the sections, so I guess that works. Where the section A, section B had their own different vibe and the whole different choreo to match with it, which makes sense.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't think it was a huge deal if the synchronization, but I can understand the nitpicking because it is a debut. It is from a big company,
and the song itself is pretty controversial too. So it seems like people are kind of starting to be nitpicky a little bit. Let's move on a little quickly. We're already 30 minutes in.
There's a lot to say.
There's a bit of a plagiarism controversy going around the block right now. People have been name dropping ATEEZ and Luna
for the music video.
Right. People have been saying that the concepting, visual motifs, the individual shots in the music video, people have been saying it reminds them of the ATEEZ pirate ship concept, as well as individual music video shots from ITZY's Luna's music videos. I don't think it's plagiarism. Personally, I think it's pretty common cliches you see in Korean media, if not all of media. Like a floating spaceship in the air sounds like a cruise ship in the air. Treasure Island from Disney.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some like side by side comparisons of the ATEEZ music video and NMIXX, and kind of where there were very, very similar shots. I see the similarity, especially because the colors that they used in the shots are very similar. So I feel like not only is the structure, like the composition of the shot, but also like the actual colors. I understand it where people might be a little upset about that. I don't know what can be done because, like you said, it's not. I don't know if it's actually technically plagiarism because you can't really own the rights to an image,
right.
Like a setup, like a composition. So I don't know. I see the similarities though. I understand what people are saying.
Right. It's definitely not creative. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's not creative, but I don't think they were looking at exact groups to plagiarize from this.
I hope. Yeah, I hope. I wouldn't say it's that way. It's that obvious, but
yeah. So we talked a lot about this group. Man, it's a weird first move for this group, obviously, right? It's pretty controversial. And for the most part, I think the song is not good. I don't think the song is good. The whole structure and the lack of transition thing makes it really difficult to follow. The music video, it looks cool at points, visually. The whole transitions visually is pretty cool. Audio wise, I think it's kind of amateurish almost and not creative. Sounds like the 10th grader who's DJing in their parents' basement, which is fine, but nothing more than fine. Here's the thing. I think that's what they wanted. Yeah. All of you guys pooping on the track right now, you're falling right into it. I think the song is awful, but I think marketing wise and business wise and entertainment wise, this is a great debut. That's what I think.
Well, yes and no. I guess my opinion is still a little divided because yes, I agree that it's jarring. It's unconventional enough where like it gets people talking and it gets people feeling strongly whether they defend it or disagree and dislike it. But I think that's the risk, that you get people that just very much are on the opposite end of the spectrum and just don't like it and are feel very strongly about that, and that kind of turns down a demographic that could have been a fan base, you know? And hopefully this means that the people that do support it like to an extreme, maybe, like they're very defensive about it. But I don't know if it's justified when the music is not great, you know? That's where I feel like I get where the purpose of this is to be a little divisive, you know? But it's when it's kind of confusing and you know what could have been done to fix it, I don't know if it's justified.
I don't think it's broken. That's what I'm saying. I think they made it like this on purpose to create a conversation, right? I think you and I already agree on that. Mm-hmm. Now everybody's eyes on them. Everybody's eyes are on them. Whether it be for a positive reason or a negative reason, at this point, it doesn't matter. They have eyes. They have eyes.
I don't know. I feel bad for any artist, you know, like who might have how should I say it? Like, I don't know if the members themselves, you know, were like on board with this, you know, because they're the ones taking the flag. They're the faces of this group. Yes. So like
actual artists.
Yeah. So I feel a little bad, like, oh, like this was a risk that the company was willing to take, but the people who really feel it are gonna be them. So I don't know. I hope that they were all in agreement and they realized, like, yeah, this is risky. This is a conversation starter. It might not have been taken very well.
I personally think that they, as long as the eyes are on them, they have plenty of room to rebound back and grab the eyes and ears of people who have not been convinced with this, which is the majority of us. But at the same time, this is JYP Entertainment we're talking about. Sure, they may not be the so grand JYP that led the golden days of the first couple years of Wonder Girl, you know, but at the same time, there's a reason they've been able to keep pushing up successful groups over and over again in the K-pop industry. I'm willing to say that there's a larger plan ahead of us.
I hope so.
That honestly, I would be surprised. I would be very surprised if they're subverting expectations for nothing. Please don't pull a Rian Johnson over here. Please don't pull a Star Wars Episode 8. That should be like the theme of today's episode. Subverting expectations, but everyone doing them differently. Well, this is one way to subvert your expectations. Just so we're clear, people have been saying like, oh look, there's like 10 producers on this on this track. And that's why it ended up so disjointed. That is totally not true. There's a interview on Genius where the producers were interviewed in terms of the background of the story. This came out of a 10-member production team called The Hub. Okay. They were in charge of the Enhypen song I mentioned earlier, Blessed Cursed. And they revealed that the whole plan along was to make a song that has abrupt changes. Then see who buys it. And then JYPN or Squad came along and they were like, oh, we want this song. Please. That one, please. How much do you want? Please give me a discount. They probably didn't ask for a discount because they're rich. I would. Anyways, that wraps up our discussion, I think, in terms of NMIXX.
Yes.
Overall, poop song, maybe. But I think it's a good debut. Anita doesn't think it is.
I think it's
pretty controversial.
It's controversial. It's a conversation starter. There you go.
Would I say it's a conversation starter? Would you go on a first date and you'd be like, oh, well, so how do you feel about?
Think about it?
What do you think about ooh? Do you think it was?
Well, you never know. You might get something.
You never know. Maybe the girl's a huge K-pop fan as well, and she's like, oh well, you know, JYP bad. oh good, or I don't know. That's not how people talk. Let's move on to the second song. Oh my goodness, we talked about this song for 40 minutes.
Oh dear
Lord. I apologize, Doug. Where'd the script go? Okay, we move on to GingaMingaYo by Billlie. That dropped on Wednesday, February 23rd. The Strange World is the subtitle. Company is they are from Mystic Story Entertainment. They debuted last year with Ring X Ring or Ring by Ring or Ring Ring. Their last song after that was Snowy Night. And this.
I love that song. I like that song.
Did you? I actually heard it. So, they have yet to win a music show win so far, but they got a lot of fans. They have a huge, super huge growth spurt going on right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they win one soon. But yeah, GingaMingaYo, right? A direct translation of what GingaMinga means is like something that's like on the tip of your tongue, maybe, or you kind of remember it, but you kind of don't. You're like, 좀 긴가민가하다, it's there, but you don't remember it.
Not quite.
Yeah, but I get it, but not quite, so that's like the strange world. It's not quite clear. It's a little ambiguous. That's what the song is going for in terms of the theme. But let's actually get into the song itself. How'd you feel about the Billlie track, Anita?
In general, I am liking this more than their debut. I think I was a little on Ring X Ring.
Okay.
This definitely still retains though this theme that they've got going on, where it's a little dark, a little odd, but very poppy. And I think it's something that I don't think I've seen in K-pop, or at least not recently. So it makes them stand out, and it makes me remember them more. Like, even though I don't agree all the time with the sound that they go with, when I think of their concept and how the song and the music video all tie together, I'm like, okay, that was pretty unique. I kind of like how they're doing this.
It feels like a K-pop take on a horrorcore.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because like they dig into like strange, like unexpected, like kind of creepy, kind of visual motifs, like a huge giant cyclops bunny at the end.
Monsters, yeah.
Yeah, diving into a strange, unexpected Oz-like world. I kind of like that concept too. I will admit, like, there are parts of the song I don't like. But for one thing, I did really, really like that this whole concept thing might not be something that's meant for everybody, but at the same time, it sets them apart from the other people very clearly, right? And this, sound-wise, it sounds very different from Ring X Ring. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. But at the same time, I still feel like they have a pretty consistent characterization of who these artists are. And that's what I really appreciate. We're looking at the same side, different sides of one coin. Like we had people have been making the red velvet reference here, where they're like, you have the red concept and the velvet concept. That was the thing in the beginning, and here it's like the high energy dark concept, and then like the more bubblegum-esque, I guess, concept that's a little more cutesy. So I think they did a nice job of that at the very least. I don't know. Did you like the song itself, Anita?
I did. I thought the chorus itself was also like very, very bubbly, very catchy. And I don't know. I think when I look at their performance and I listen to the song and I look at their choreo, I thought like, I'm liking how this is also combining, like how they're tying a lot of their elements together. I think works. So while I will say, like, I don't think like the song is amazing. I don't think it's like a spoiler. I don't think it's my favorite track that we've listened to this week, but I feel like it's very, how should I say it? It's very well complemented, and it's bubbly enough, and it contrasts their concepts so well that I don't mind it. Like, I will listen to it if it comes up. I think I've seen a couple of their live performances, and I don't know. I am okay with this.
Okay, you are okay with it.
I am.
I am not.
Why?
For the reference, I was someone who was on board with Ring X Ring, right?
You were, yes.
Right. I thought there was a lot of nice emotional buildup. It was very dynamic. It was very driven. There was a good sense of rhythm. Like it felt like you were like, it was high energy, but like at the same time, it wasn't something that just became boring after time. This is the complete opposite of that. And here's the thing. The song's very simple, right? We have a very simple bass rhythm. a simple bum 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 bum. You know, like that's the whole sense. That's the whole track. And there's not a lot of ups and downs in the track. The bridge after the second chorus is it stands out and does change the pace a little bit. But other than that, the song, the build up sounds like the verse, and the verse sounds like the chorus sounds like the bridge. You know, like it's very
repetitive or loopy.
Right. It's a very monotonous kind of loop for me. And it would be one thing if I liked that monotonous loop. Because it really, really works really well for certain, you know, songs like Run to You by Stacey did something similar in that aspect where they had a single musical motif that they played off of. Obviously very different sounding songs. But here, I don't know, it sounds very simple, and the sound design itself feels simple and not complete, and something we heard from amateur EDM musicians from about 12 years ago at this point. That's the takeaway I'm getting with this. If you're into this sound, go for it. It's not a sound that I think is interesting to me. It's not experimental. Both of the songs we discussed today are not experimental. This is not either. This is just bass house, just simple straight bass house. Sounds different from rest of K-pop because K-pop doesn't do music like this very often. Most of the times you do house, it's some sort of deep house, future house, tech house kind of deal. This obviously is out there. You wouldn't associate this with the runway per se. So for me, it felt a little flat there. It's not really a song that I would return to in that aspect. But one thing that did stand out to me in a very positive manner is this girl named Sua. Moonsua. Oh man, okay. I mean, I don't think her rap is perfect, but she's on something here. She's on to something. I'm seeing a lot of potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm seeing a little seed in the ground sprout.
Okay.
You know, like kind of grow up a little bit, and you're seeing the little bit of itsy bitsy leaves coming out of the little soil over here. So I kind of like that. I do want to say I think she could work on her pronunciation a little bit, but other than that, I really like the energy. And the flow itself was good too. And here's the thing: the rap she was working with was not good either. That's my takeaway with it. I don't know if she wrote it or someone else wrote it. My guess is someone else wrote it for her. But like it was, when you have a house rhythm, there's like so many ways for you to write a rap flow. But the flow was as simple as bada 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 ba bada ba bada 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 ba bada, and I was like, really? Like that's she sounds capable of doing so much more. And
I see. There's possibilities there.
Right,
potential.
right. And it felt like the song was keeping it simple because the rest of the song is keeping it simple. Everything is keeping it simple. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're too simple now. You know, like if OO did too many crazy things, for me, there's not enough crazy things with this track. So again,
I see that argument because I feel like I said, I don't have anything like super strongly that I dislike about the song, but neither on the other end. Like I don't have anything that I super like either.
Right. It's with this track, I also feel like we're subverting the expectations again. Because like K-pop nowadays is all about building an emotion, letting go of that emotion, building it up again. That, the whole wave thing that like people mention all the time when you talk to like producers and whatnot, that is like non-existent here at all. So again, we're like taking expectations, subverting them, especially because Ring X Ring did such a great job of that as well. Is it a Rian Johnson Star Wars Episode 8? I don't know, but to me, I'm like, couldn't we have done it a different way? That's how I feel about this track. Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about this track before we move on?
I'll say this. I am more interested in Billlie now because of this track and the past one, Snowy Night. My favorite one is probably Snowy Night so far. I really like that song. I thought it was really nice. We didn't get to cover it on the show, but it was really cute. It fit the snow theme without it being too cliche because of their concept, their eerie, creepy concept. But anyway, I'm interested in Billlie. I'm still checking them out. And like I just said, there is potential. I see it. So hopefully we refine it a little bit more.
All right. Hopefully they blossom with the next comeback. Or maybe they have blossomed and I'm blind. That also might be the case.
No, they're still pretty young.
Yeah, no, they have much more room to grow, you know?
Yes.
And they're on a great speed right now in terms of like growth that I think they can make a lot of risky choices. And you know, still make a lot of money. So make that guap, Billlie. Monday, February 28th.
Here we go.
Rocket Punch with Chiquita. They are from Woollim Entertainment. They debuted in August of 2020.
2020, wow.
Wow. Their last couple songs have been Ring Ring Juicy Bouncy and Bim Bam Boom. They have not made a single music show win so far. As a catchy, I am hoping for a music show win this week or the week after. I don't know. Billie's doing really, really well. NMIXX is doing really, really well, even though people don't like the song. So probably it's gonna be really difficult. But you know, doesn't hurt to cross your fingers. You know, just you know, I'm wearing a yellow T-shirt because Yellow Punch.
Yeah.
Their EP. Obviously, I am very biased in favor of this group.
Did this meet the expectations? Is this on track?
Bro, I don't know, man.
You don't know.
Okay. I see what they're doing here. We all see what they're doing here. They saw Ring Ring positively met. People are like, yeah, this song is nice. So they were like, okay, we do that again. You know, we do more retro. And I'm like, okay. But like retro is like actually retro now. Like retro is not a thing anymore.
Kind of phasing out.
It's like a dead trend, you know, at this point. So that was my concern with Ring Ring, and I was like, okay, you know, like are they gonna continue on retro? What are they gonna do now? It seems like they're going back to the retro trend once again with this Chiquita track, but with a bit of a twist, right? Yeah. If you talk about retro and K-pop, a lot of it's based on disco. And there are there are two main streams of retro interpretation in K-pop. Well, actually three, right? There's the city pop interpretation of it.
Correct.
There's the weekend interpretation of it. And then there is the, what's her name? The girl.
Yukika?
No. The American pop musician.
Dua Lipa.
What?
Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa, yes.
Yes.
I think there is basically, you either do city pop or you do the weekend-esque thing or you do the Dua Lipa thing.
Yeah.
I think we're starting off with the weekend formula a little bit and then interpreting it in a way so that there's a lot of Eurobeat involved. Less disco and more like synth sounds that are very synths. In your face. Right. So this is like very, very much in your face 80s. It's not like the trendy 80s that we've been getting. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that we're getting a fresh twist on that. At the same time, I think it does one thing really, really well and one thing not really, really well. And I think the chorus itself is done super well.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it was really good. It was explosive, and then Soyeon sings, and I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah, that's another thing. Vocals were very nice. I liked how we were incorporating the high notes here and there. I thought it was good.
They were not this good at singing.
Oh,
they were not
improvement.
No, they were not this good at singing. Just between you and me, they were not this good at singing. Okay. But they're good. They're kind of good now. I'm like, what? Who are these people? Why did you improve this much? I don't like this. Why'd you guys lose so much weight? Please eat some shit or something. I don't know. What I didn't appreciate a bit was the verse. The verse sections, the rap too. I'm not really big on those parts. And it really just felt like I was just waiting for the chorus to hit again because the chorus was so hard hitting. But other than that, I think individual sections were like really, really nice. The transitions were really, really nice. The transition out of the third chorus into more of a melodic outro was really, really cool. I have to admit, it was not something I expected at all. And I am glad they did that instead of just relying on the old trope again. but I'm also feeling like this is something I noticed with the music video as well. But the finish and the mix and the texture of everything feels a little shallow. I felt like the mix was kind of rushed, or maybe it's the instrumentation. I don't know. That part actually felt like it's from the 80s and not like
like back when.
Right. And like here's the thing, there's modern ways to do it. There's definitely modern ways to do it. Like Kanye does that all the time and it doesn't sound like it's from the 80s at all, obviously. And there's like ways to instrumentize it so that it sounds like it's from the 80s, but sound finish is modern. And that's clearly what they're going for here. But I don't know, just the song itself, I don't know, it feels like it's missing a bit of oomph in terms of like the mix. But clearly I am overthinking it, because otherwise I think it's fine. Yeah. How do you feel about this? I am clearly not able to host properly at this moment.
No, you're good. I feel like I had my same concerns about the whole retro thing. And the thing is, like, I don't mind. I liked this sound. I like the 80s synth. But thinking long term, I am wondering where this is gonna expand to. If Rocket Punch is just gonna be retro, if you're gonna go like the Yukika route, is it kind of what I was thinking, where you just double into this sound and that's gonna be the identity of the group.
Yukika kind of bounced out, and now she's doing more like indie pop stuff.
Yeah. So I feel like it's tough for this to be sustainable. So I'm wondering where the next comeback is gonna go, because I feel like
they're just going to keep going back in time. They're going to go into the 50s.
Further.
They're going to start doing swing music and smooth jazz from the 30s.
You know what? They could. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Something that I guess is very minute, and I don't know a lot of people see it this way, but I was actually really curious to see how they were going to use the title, right? Because the title is written like the Spanish word that means little.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right? The gendered word that means something that is little, female gendered, and I was wondering, like, oh, is this going to be a bigger part in the lyrics? Like, I don't know. I guess I was more curious how that was going to be incorporated, but I found it so interesting that it's just the sound. It's just a sound effect, right? It's just like Chiquita. That's it.
It sounds cool. That's about it.
Yeah, like it sounds nice. I was just so. Oh, I would not have thought that that's how it was going to be incorporated into the song. I wonder what was the reasoning for making it written as the actual Spanish word and not just like the onomatopoeia. But
yeah,
it's cool. I think
it's actually a reference to their the evil villain of their lore.
Is it?
Yeah, Rocket Punch is they're a mech thing. They are fighting.
That would fit with the 80s theme.
Yeah, they are fighting the black Godzilla, and that's they're 6 Power Rangers. That's so Chiquita is a reference to their connection with the fans. That's what it is.
Interesting.
Totally. Why? Here's the thing. Rocket Punch debuted at an interesting time in K-pop where like people were starting to make lore for these groups, whether people liked them or not. And Rocket Punch came without it. A lot of the, I think it's fine. And I think it's, for the most part, it's fine because it's great for light listening. But now you have this situation where nowadays, if you debut a group and there's no lore involved, I'm gonna look at your company and go, "You're lazy. You guys are lazy." That's my take on it nowadays. And we have a bit of a dichotomy, right? Where like we have groups with and groups without. And I see the pros and cons of groups with lore. And it's kind of difficult. Now it's kind of difficult to judge whether like having lore is more beneficial or not. Because now I feel like people are like too sick of lore now. That's the reaction I'm getting sometimes where like people are like, "Oh, you guys are
very common
to it."
Yeah, it's more common now. So it doesn't make you stand out. Having the lore is not really standing out. But
it's more like stuff for fans to dig deeper into.
Yeah.
Right? And like, you know, like you can talk about lore while you wait for next comeback. I don't know. So Chiquita is the title track of their EP, Yellow Punch, which again, I have to admit, I'm biased towards this group. But then again, I was very critical of Bouncy. You can't just say I'm biased towards this group. I try to be objective here. But here's the thing. This is their 4th EP, and it's pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. The tracks are really, really nice. Other than Louder, which I don't want to talk about, that's like the...
Okay.
That doesn't exist. There's only 5 tracks in this EP, guys. And it's all good. It's all good. It's really good. I'm not gonna lie. There's no boring filler ballad, you know. There's no boring filler pop music. The second track goes off and leaves off of kicks off of where Chiquita left off. And then there's like a lot of cool stuff in there as well. So if you're looking for cool B-sides and a bit of a vibe, go check out Yellow Punch. It is in the mail right now for me. I shall unbox it probably hopefully on the next episode, if not the episode after. If you are able to vote, please vote for these folks. They need to make money. And I am incredibly concerned, like you are, Anita, because I don't want them to back themselves up into a corner. And that's kind of what I feel like they're doing here. And I've been crying since their second EP that they need to pick a direction and go with it, and they need to commit to it. Okay. I should have been more specific with my wishes. Now I understand. Please pick a direction that's expandable and go there. Because here, you know, I like that they're doing something that, you know, is somewhat cliched and expected, but subverting those expectations again and doing something fresh with it. Cool. Can you do that again and again and again? Also, can we get more comebacks?
Yeah, that would be nice.
They came back on May of 2021. And I get they had a Japanese debut, which is in August. I get that they had to do that. But, like, was it worth it doing it right after Ring Ring, which was super, like, well-received? I don't...
Momentum. We need the momentum.
Anyways, I am hoping that this is a transition of sorts. The sales are looking nice so far.
Nice.
I will keep you updated whether this group does well or not, regardless of whether you are interested or not. Because Rocket Punch is Rocket Punch. Also, can you guys feed them? Like they don't look healthy.
You're a concerned fan.
Dude, Juri looks like she's lost all the yolk. That's what she looks like. She's just the white stuff now. I like the hairstyle that they're giving her. It makes a lot more sense. Also, pink hair too. Sorry, Yoni is just.
Yes.
Oh man.
Styling was nice. I like the styling for this one.
Yeah, styling was nice. When the first teaser dropped, they only had one set of outfits and one set of like sets, and I was like so concerned. I was like, "Is this all we got?" Like, thank God. That being said, the music video didn't feel particularly high budget, but like, you know, I'm willing to. I understand we don't have a lot of money here. I get it. It still looks fine, I think. You know.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. Yeah. I didn't think it would look not professional, if that makes sense.
No, the issue is the bar is set so high now. Like everyone's doing crazy CG and like.
That makes sense.
Right. Talk to me about it. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, like this, I still think this is really great. Does a really good job of complementing the song itself, as well as showing the members' performances. So yeah, Rocket Punch, Chiquita.
Yes, Chiquita.
All right, other big releases of this week include Dance with God by Craxy, Fade Away by Solji, Sharp Objects by Thorn, Callin by Super Junior, Rollin' by Vanner.
Very nice, very nice. And now we're at Spice Gang.
Finally.
We will see which song reigns supreme. The Soju chart from episode 177. Stacey got its crown out, but it counted for 2 because it was a full sweep, right? So this is consequential for this week. where if they get the crown again, they're off the possible candidates, and they go straight to the Hall of Fame. So let's see if that happens. Second place, we had Taeyeon's INVU, and then we had a tie for third with Treasure and VVZ. Yes. Who should go first? Well, I know you were messing with your votes, Warren.
I was tempted to, but I hereby pledge that I did not. I had one vote from this morning to this afternoon to this evening. Period. It did not change.
All right.
Are you telling me to go first?
Well, actually, no. Let's go with Doug.
Yeah.
Because he also gave his opinion on this. I'll go ahead and read it.
Okay.
He had Stacy Girls Run to You in first.
Nice.
Rocket Punch. Chiquita.
Let's go.
Second.
Let's go.
And then on third, he had Taeyeon's INVU. Interesting.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and name mine. I didn't change my chart. I liked the songs. The songs that I had on my chart previously are still the ones I like a little bit more than the ones that were released this week.
You didn't change it at all?
No, I didn't. But I will say, like, runner up, and there was Rocket Punch. Runner up was Rocket Punch. So I'll start from the bottom. Third place, I had Taeyeon's INVU. Second place, VVZ Bop Bop. I still like the song. I like it. It's very boppy. It's not perfect, but I really like where this is going. And in first place, as it should be, Stacy Run to You. I really like the song. This song is like on loop constantly. I watch a lot of their live performances. I really like the choreo. What can I say? It's they did it again.
Okay. Your lack of Rocket Punch is very disturbing, Anita.
I'm sorry.
You are walking on thin ice. I'm just kidding. Vote for whoever you want. NMIXX. Oh.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I did say it's a bad song, so it's not on my chart. What is not on my chart, but I do want to shout out is Tank by NMIXX. It's the other track on their double single debut thing. It's written by them joints. Has a very freshy chorus. I think it's great. They should have gone with that for the debut, honestly, I think. But, you know, I think it's worth mentioning because I really like the song. And to be honest, if that
had been the title track.
Right, if that had been the title track, that would have been first place easily.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. What is instead on my first place is once again Stacy with Run to You. I have to admit, it's just a good song. It is.
Third?
Yeah. No, first.
Oh, first. Okay.
First place. First place is Run to You by Stacy. I want to reiterate because it is a good song. I still really appreciate what they did with the track. I hope they don't do the same thing again for the next comeback. But at the same time, hey, you know, like it worked with this one. Can't complain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. GingaMingaYo by Billlie. I think there was a lot going for it. But I wasn't fully convinced about it. So it's not on my chart.
Oh
wait, I'm looking at my chart. I lied.
What did you write down?
Okay. Yeah, no, this makes sense. Yeah, I have Oh by NMIXX on third place.
You do?
I do. And here's the thing. A big part of this relies on this part, right? I have listened to this song many, many, many times throughout the course of this week. When you run a podcast about K-pop, chances are you listen to those songs a lot, especially the ones you have to talk about a lot. The ones you have a lot to say, you listen way, way more. Like songs that I say is generic, I'm going to listen to it not too many times compared to songs like this because I want to dig deeper into songs like these and kind of like, you know, dissect it, you know. The thing with this track in particular is the transitions are awful, yes. But each section is really, really, really solid.
Yeah.
To the point where once you get used to the transitions, once you know what to expect from these transitions, once you know where the BPM goes up and down and up, then it kind of becomes a banger. So that's where I'm also thinking this is a perfect this is a perfect debut for them. Because the first listen, you go, what the heck is this? 5 listens in, you're like, okay. Maybe they're off to something of a start. So yeah, therefore that's why I'm putting it on 3rd place. I totally forgot to mention that. That's where I've come around it on a little bit. I do think each individual section is really, really solid. And once you get used to the transitions and the structure, once you know what to expect, maybe not too bad. But I'm still not overlooking the fact that it's a horrible structured song and the transitions are awful on purpose, which is why I'm putting it on 3rd. Which leaves me with Chiquita by Rocket Punch from their 4th mini album, Yellow Punch, which is still in my mail. Why is it taking so long? I want my thing. It would be a nice 4th album in my list of albums over there, please. Korean Air or whoever is USPS, FedEx, I don't know. Please give me my album. Yeah, that is my chart of the week.
All right. Finally, the gang had their votes.
Gang.
Yes. 3rd place. They had Treasure.
Oh, wow.
23 points. Very interesting. I see the appeal. 2nd place, Billlie. 28 points.
Wow.
The fans. They like the Billies. And in 1st place, they had Stacy with 58 points.
Does that mean?
Yes.
Does it mean what we're thinking?
It does. It does mean Stacy gets the crown. 1st place for this week. A sweep. Ooh. One more time. Yes. So final results. And Warren, feel free to double check my math. But we got Stacy in 1st with 20 points because everybody had it in 1st.
Yeah.
2nd place, we have Rocket Punch with 6 points.
Hell yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah. And then 3rd, we have Billlie with 3 points from the Gochu Gang.
Anita, actually, I'm double checking your math. It says Rocket Punch has 5 points.
Oh my god!
I think you should check that one more time.
No, I think I'm correct on that.
Stacy is joining. BTS Dynamite, Twice I Can't Stop Me, Dreamcatcher Oda, IU Lilac, Stacy ASAP, BTS Butter, Taeyeon Weekend, Some You Can't Stay With Us, Stacy Stereotype, Twice The Field, 17 Rock With You, So Chungha Killing Me, and From S9 DM in the Hall of Spice. They are the first artist to have 3 songs in our Hall of Spice.
Wow.
Talk about a group without failures.
They're all bops.
Bops. A field of bops. Just nothing else. Just big field of bops. You're just cropping bops everywhere, just farming it all up like the good old farmers they are. That is a weird analogy. Who are the show winners, Anita?
Yes, show winners. Taeyeon with INVU got some wins on M Countdown, Show Music Core, and NMIXX. So she has a total of 3 wins with this comeback. And then we have Treasure. Jin had 2 wins, one on Show Champion, which was their first win ever. Big congrats to them.
Congrats.
And then another on Music Bank. And then finally, we had A-Pink's Dilemma had a win on the show.
Nice. Congrats to Treasure. Wow, first win.
Yes. Congrats for them. Can I also do a quick shout out? Darari by Treasure is such a good song. If you haven't listened to that song, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's giving Dean, Zico, Odi type of vibe.
Wait, Dean, Zico, Odi?
Yeah.
Odi, like the rapper from VMC Records?
No. Odi, like the song they had on Show Me the Money.
Oh, Odi.
Yes,
that thing?
Yes, that's what I thought of.
Okay.
So check it out.
Okay, well, that song had a plagiarism controversy, but don't.
Oh my god.
Let you not enjoy the Treasure track because I'm sure that was fine. Tarari, track 3 of their EP.
Yeah, it's nice.
But folks, this has been probably our longest part 1 ever.
We ramble so much.
Dude, we need Douglas. Where are you?
Doug, come back.
Is fishing for salmon in Alaska worth it? We are now at the end of part 1 of SojuTalk episode 178. We'll be back after a short break. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk K-pop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
And we are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 178, where we discuss recent K-pop news and events and give you the state of the nation. Alrighty, Anita, you want to start us off?
Yes, some sad news for some fans here. But the boy group NewEst will be disbanding next month. On February 28th, the agency Pledis announced that the members' contracts will expire on March 14. JR, Aaron, and Ren will be leaving the company, while Baekho and Minhyun will renew their contracts. Through Weverse, Pledis expressed gratitude to all the fans who have shown boundless and unwavering support for NewEst over the past 10 years. And for reference, they debuted in 2012. They gained popularity later in their career after one of their members, Minhyun, made the lineup for the 101, Produce 101 Season 2 group. Yeah, some of their notable songs, for some people who might remember, was Hello, Bet Bet, Love Me, I'm in Trouble, Inside Out. Yeah, kind of sad to see this, you know? I mean, it's been a long run, 10 years, but I guess I was around K-pop when they debuted.
Oh, okay.
So I remember them from way back when, from 2012.
Wow. You were one of the OGs in terms of NewEst fans. I don't know if you're a fan, but
well, yeah, I guess I wasn't keeping up with them consistently, but I always checked out like their title stuff.
Okay.
Because like they were in that generation where like I was like, oh yeah, like, this is a new genre, right? And I don't know, they were really nice. They were really good. I think from the list that I mentioned, I really liked Hello. It was more of a sad, moody pop song. So check it out. Yes, it's been a long run. I'll say that I'm glad that there was a little bit of a revival of the group after Produce 101 Season 2, which definitely extended the run of the group.
Right.
With Minhyun being there, so yeah. I'm hoping that they go on to different projects, We'll see.
The impression I got through Produce 101 Season 2, and to be very clear, I haven't been able to keep up with their music outside of this podcast. But the impression I got through that show was that they were very invested in their career as musicians. They are from an era of Korean pop where if you're young, one of the only ways to be a musician is to be an idol. And the impression I got was that some of them had to make that choice, even though, nowadays there are other venues out there. So I don't want to see this as an end, Yeah,
I hope not. I feel like there's been with disbandments, right? Recently, I feel like there's been a trend where like members go on to do other things. Possibilities of reunions are there. So hopefully it's not like the end of the members' activities, whether it's individual or together. Yeah.
They did have a really long run and a bit of a bumpy run as well. But it also at the end of the day they had thanks to that Produce 101 Season 2 bump, push, I think they wrapped it up in a very positive, favorable way. So, shout outs to the newest members, JR, Aron, Baekhyun, Minhyun, Len. Best of luck going into the future.
Yes. Yep.
All right. I have some news about the big boys of the industry.
Oh.
Not the big boys. I'm sorry. The big boy of the industry. The big dino. The big Tyrannosaurus Rex over here. That's right. It's Hybe Entertainment, right? They have become literally the biggest boy because they just became the first K-pop agency to surpass 1 trillion won in annual sales.
Oh my God.
Now you might be saying, Warren, 1 trillion won, how much is that in US dollars? Boy, that's 838 million United States dollars.
Wow.
We're about to hit $1 billion.
Billionaires.
Dang. Wow. All right, the company said in a regulatory filing on Tuesday that its sales for 2021 are tentatively tallied at 1.25 trillion won, up to 58% increase.
Oh my God.
From 2021. Oh boy, sorry, 2020.
Oh
boy, I just lost it with the big numbers over here.
Big numbers, yeah.
A business report from eBest Investment and Securities had outlined their future plans for the rest of the year, right? So, in Q1, we're talking about webtoons and web novels, right?
Oh yeah, they started with that.
Yeah. Resumption of domestic as well as international concerts, right? Like twice did a tour in North America. I think it was fairly successful.
Let's see it.
I think my predictions for 2022 is slowly all going to be right. But in Q2, gaming business is what they're going into, apparently.
Gaming?
Yeah. Now, they are also the investment firm also outlined that they are going to start seeing four new rookie groups starting in the second quarter of 2022.
4?
Yeah.
Wait, 4.
4.
That's in reference to the girl groups, right? Yeah.
I guess,
I think
maybe.
that adds up.
Look.
Yeah.
4 groups. Just putting that out there. 4 groups. Not 4 member groups. 4 individual groups.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
We're also going to start seeing the infamous Weverse VLive integration sometime in Q2 or Q3. As a tech person, that's what I'm excited about, to be honest. It's always a huge headache to integrate 2 platforms. It's an incredible headache. You have no idea what goes into that. If you work at backend, you probably have the knowledge of how much of a headache it is. I don't have the headache. I don't know how complicated it is because I don't work in backend. I just know that when you mention it to them, they're gonna start like hating on you. They're gonna be like, Warren.
Oh no.
Now, this is from an investment firm in their report. So obviously, take these words with a bit of a salt.
Grain of salt.
A grain of salt. That integration between Weverse and VLive might happen in Q4. Who knows? The 4 new rookie groups happening between March, April, and June of 2022. It might not be 4. Might be 3.
They might just start the process for most of them, but maybe not.
They might also
starting. Mm-hmm.
Right, starting is not debuting, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm okay. I'm reading the Korean source. 4 teams debut. Yeah, 4-team debut.
Debut.
But I think we're starting in the second quarter and then onwards.
Oh.
So not within that one quarter, but like throughout the year, starting in the second quarter, we're gonna see 4 teams.
But by the end of the year, 4 teams.
Well, again, like I mentioned, take it with a grain of salt. We don't know if it's gonna be 4 groups. Could be 5.
Could be 5.
Could be 5. Could be 6. Who knows?
Could be more.
Could be more. All right. So that's Hybe for you, man. They are obviously. We all know that they're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, players in the group right now, in the game right now. They are making literal games. Literal, quite literal. They're going into a gaming business. That's also what I'm really, really curious about. What is their gaming business gonna look like? Because I would imagine, given their familiarity with the webtoon and the web novel space, that they would go into like a interactive web novel kind of thing, not necessarily like a dating sim, but like a click through mystery kind of deal. You know, that's
pick your own adventure type.
Right. Like Pottermore maybe, or like stuff like yeah, or like what's the famous Igyaru, that game. You know what? Do you know what I'm referring to?
No.
The one where like you're in court the court game.
Attorney.
What? One more time.
Phoenix. No. Something
Phoenix.
attorney.
Something Phoenix.
Phoenix attorney. What is it? I'm not a gamer.
역전 재판 in Korean. Please blame my Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney. Maybe we're gonna get Ace Attorney, but like Suga's gonna be fighting Jimin in court for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what the BTS lore is
that
like.
That would be interesting.
Or who knows? Maybe it'll be different groups, all just under hype. Anyway, they're expanding a whole bunch. Obviously, I'm just excited to see them expand and try out different things.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to some of the smaller stuff, Anita.
Yes, also hype related. We have BTS will be bringing Permission to Dance on stage to Las Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium on April 8th, 9th, 15th, and 16th.
Whoa.
Very interesting.
4 times.
The final performance, will be available online as a live stream. And meanwhile, the 64th Grammy Awards will be taking place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas on April 3rd.
Okay, so I think it's fair to assume that they're going to somehow appear on the Grammys?
Correct.
Okay.
Very interesting. Las Vegas. They're showing Las Vegas.
Well,
that's so interesting.
They have a lot of money. A little too much money. So maybe they can blow it off a little bit on some slot machines.
I'm guessing. I don't know if the tickets. I don't think we have information on ticket sales yet, but that would be really interesting. I don't know if there's ever been a K-pop group with their own show in Vegas, like a recurring performance like this. So it's a first. And stay tuned for the final performance, which will be available on live stream.
Go. If you're in Nevada, you should probably go. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. SM we have some news about SM because they, through their subsidiary SM Brand Marketing and Binance, they will be partnering for a global play-to-create system that allows users to create music, dance, games, and goods based on SM IP and then transform it into NFTs to be sold and exchanged. Man, we can't go a single week without talking about NFTs.
It's everywhere. Wait, but so this is going to be a platform to create music, dance, games to be transformed into NFTs. Interesting.
It's a creative platform where you can create things. What is it going to be? I don't really know. I assume you're creating images or some audio bits.
Videos.
Maybe it'll be like TikTok because it includes dance.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. I don't know how else you could make it into an NFT, but
you take the link to it, you put it on your metal wall. We're not doing that bit again. We're not doing that bit again. Oh man. Moving on.
Yeah, it's interesting. Comedian Young-jin has been announced as the Queen Manager for Queendom 2, airing on March 31st. Yeah, and previously Taeyeon was announced as the main MC as well. Very nice.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Real quick, I know we don't talk a lot about Korean YouTubers on here, but one person I might suggest is Young-jin. He is currently the host of Turkeys, and it's a parody of You Quiz, right? You Quiz being the interview / quiz show that SojuTalk does.
Yeah.
Young-jin does it with a weird twist where he's dressed like a turkey ice cream seller guy. I just trust me, he's really, really funny. He did one with Miju. He did one with Hwasa. He did one with Mino from Winner. Winner. He did one with Davichi. He does them a lot with like Korean YouTubers. He did one with Twice. I'm just going down. He did one with Somi. So you guys have people that you guys are interested in here. Trust me, watch it. It's funny as heck. Just trust me. So what I'm saying is, I'm most excited about this guy for Queendom too.
The MC.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Moving on to the last piece of news we have today. Taeyeon. Taeyeon's INVU has achieved a perfect all kill on February 26th. If I remember correctly, this is the first track of the year to make a perfect all kill. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I think it's a combination of two things, right? The song being really good, as well as Taeyeon being really popular in Korea. It's a perfect expected.
Good timing.
Yeah. We also have some other news.
Other news. Yeah, we're moving on to more health-related stuff. First, hiatuses. We have Cosmic Girls Tawon with a hiatus due to anxiety disorder.
Oh no.
Similarly, we have From Nine's Jihan with anxiety disorder hiatus, and Weekly's Jiyoon with anxiety disorder hiatus.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, hope they get the rest they need. Definitely. Glad that they're taking a break, that the company is supporting this. But yeah, hopefully it works out.
Anxiety disorder is obviously not something to be easily taken.
Yeah.
Best of luck to these three people. And we wish their speedy and healthy recovery.
Yeah, we hope to see them soon.
We also have some positive COVID news. Once again, right now the numbers of COVID in Korea is incredibly high, so we're gonna keep seeing this pattern over and over.
Yeah.
Here's the list, boys and girls. We have Siun, Haram, and Chun of Billlie, Hyojung of Oh My Girl, Jinho of Pentagon, Miju. We have Solar of Mamamoo, Bonon of 17, Shinwon of Pentagon, Hasel Yejin Bibi of Luna, Ryujin of ITZY, Rose of Blackpink, Eunji Hayoung of A-Pink, and Jacob of The Boys. We also have been told that IST's boy group launch survival program, The Origin A, B, or What, has unfortunately been postponed to March 19th after a positive case found within the trainees of the show.
Oh no. These numbers.
We wish her, again, the speediest of recoveries.
Yes.
Yeah. We also have some news that broke out today earlier. We'll keep it light here because we haven't had time to actually translate this after it broke out. But there was a song that dropped through. What's the English title of Pango Sollem, Anita?
My Teenage Girl, I believe.
My Teenage Girl.
Yes.
And Soyeon was one of the producers / judges on this show, and she wrote one of the songs on the final evaluation. That their debut group is going to be called Classy. What do you know?
Classy, okay.
Classy. It makes sense if you think about it. After school, Classy. But anyways, in the final round of the show, she wrote a song along with Pop Time of KQ Entertainment called Sun. Now, people have been saying that Sun sounds very, very similar to Wave. A little too similar, if anything. And earlier today, they have revealed that they were missing people from the original credits of the track. The original producer of Wave by ATEEZ called
Wave.
Edenary was apparently missing from the credits of the Sun. The situation is complicated, obviously. Soyeon did directly apologize for it, as well as KQ Entertainment and Cube Entertainment for both the confusion as well as the unclear credits situation. I read all the articles that dropped today while we were in intermission. It feels like the situation is still evolving and developing. So if you're interested, I highly suggest you look deeper into it, because there seems to be a lot going on over here. But just wanted to put that out there. It sounds like it's just a mistake, and I hope that's what it is, because both.
Feel free to also go listen to both tracks and make your own judgment. But I think there is, in the chorus, particularly for Sun, there is a similarity in the chorus for Wave, especially in the progression. And I think it was the top line, right? That was very similar. And I guess it would make sense if there was some inclusion of the producer from Wave in this song, and there was some miscrediting, but yeah. Definitely check it out for yourselves.
At the end of the day, I hope it's just a mistake and that they're able to learn from it, because I'm a huge fan of both Pop Time and Soyeon. They're incredibly talented producers, songwriters, and artists themselves. So yeah, I hope they figure that out.
Get clears up.
Yeah. All right. Who's Anita? Could you tell me who announced all the big comebacks?
A lot of people.
Oh my goodness! Everybody and their mothers.
Everybody's coming back. I'll start it off. We have Sonamu's Eunjin with a solo debut on March 3rd. And then we have Ailey on March 7th. We have Tan's debut on March 10th, which is a boy group formed through MBC's Wild Idol. Then we have G-Idol on March 14th. ILY1 debut on March 15th, which is a new girl group from FCN with Ririka. So check it out if you're a fan of her from Girls Planet. And then we have WeI March 16th, Gravity on March 22nd, D-Crunch on March 25th, NCT Dream on March 28th, and Dreamcatcher sometime in April.
As well as WeI sometime in March.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, did you? Never mind. Well,
yeah, a lot of people coming out.
Boy, I previously thought that this season would be a little dry, thanks to Yeah, no, I thought it'd be dry because of the elections going on in Korea, but totally not the case.
Oh, yeah.
Totally not the case. Anyways, now we are at Nation of the State, or should I say State of the Nation?
Yes.
Where we discuss. There's not really a bit here. We just talk about whatever we want.
Anything we've got
Anything
going on.
we like. I want pizza right now. That's what I will talk about. I'm just kidding. Oh man. It's been an interesting week for me. There was quick shout out. Someone did send us a pretty extensive email in terms of like some of the conversations we had pretty recently. I saw it come in. I haven't had a chance to look deeper into it. I will get to it next week. I promise. I saw your email. Just wanted to put that out there because I know you put a lot of effort into writing that.
Yeah, thank you for sending it.
No, yeah, I do really want to. I have a star in the thing right now in the inbox.
Yes.
So I promise I'll get to it. I just haven't been able to because I was really busy this week. Some of the stuff I did last week. I streamed on Twitch again. We talked about the 4th generation debuts in terms of K-pop.
Girl groups?
So far. Right, girl groups. Girl groups
Girl
only.
groups.
Girl groups. I think, okay, for the most part, to get meta a little bit, I think we do a really good job of covering girl groups more than boy groups. Because I'm more interested in girl groups. What can I say?
It makes sense.
Yeah. Obviously, Anita, 180, different case for you. But we ended up with Stacy on top. We did.
Nice. Stacy girls.
It's a good song. What can I say? Anita, you're coming on this week.
Yay.
We'll be talking more about Animal Crossing next week.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Yes. I have ideas for what I want to do next week and the week after that and the week after that as well. So
3 weeks out.
Yeah, I just sometimes I have no ideas. Sometimes I have too many ideas. Right now I have a lot of ideas, so I better row the boat while the water's coming in, So stay tuned. There's a bunch of you guys in the chat that I see often, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. How's life been for you, Anita?
It's been pretty good. Weather out here in the Midwest, U.S. It's been a little warmer, actually.
Really?
Yeah, today it was pretty nice. Not too bad. Actually had a little bit of a barbecue earlier today. Carne asada. Very nice.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it was good. It was the highlight of this past week, just getting to eat carne asada. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Kind of TV related.
Are you watching something?
Well, let me vent a little bit. So there's this there's this new movie coming out that is super, super cute. It's called
Sonic the Hedgehog, the second movie.
No, no. It's called Turning Red. It's by Disney. Okay. And it's basically it's an animated movie set in the 90s. I want to say it's the 90s. About this girl and this weird power she gains, right? It's super cute. I don't want to spoil anything, but the trailers are out. It's been everywhere. And just recently I found out that this film is going straight to streaming. So it's only going to be available in Disney Plus. And I don't know, I just feel so sad because
why do you feel sad?
Disclaimer, I don't have Disney Plus. I don't pay this for the subscription or anything. And to be honest, I guess I wasn't super interested in the Disney Plus only shows. But since this is a film, it's a brand new storyline. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel or anything. I don't know. I just feel like really disappointed that it's going straight to streaming because I feel like are we promoting the film or are we promoting the streaming site? Because it feels like if you wanted more people to see the film, we would just send it to movie theaters per usual. But since it's going straight to streaming, I think that just creates another wall to access it. I don't know. I guess it depends. Maybe like if you're a fan of the streaming website and like the features that are available there, you don't mind. But I guess from a perspective of someone who's not using it, who's not using the streaming site, who's not paying for it, and is just interested in the film. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, everyone's probably heard one variation of the story or the other, but we're living in an era where everybody and their mothers have a streaming platform for some reason.
True.
And I get it, right? Netflix was hugely popular and so successful, made a lot of money. Apparently, they didn't really, but Hulu made a lot of money apparently. So everybody was like, ooh, we have the rights to a lot of content. Let's start a streaming platform based on that content, because that content's going to bring people to our platform. Out comes Peacock from NBC.
Oh, yeah.
Hinged on the fact that they have the rights to The Office, Parks and Recreation, as well as a couple other things that they're not coming to my mind right now. I'm more of a Parks and Rec fan, and I was super pissed off.
I love Parks and Rec.
Oh, man. And to a degree, as someone who works in tech, I understand, right? More competition creates better products. I get it. The problem is these products are lazy. Some of these products aren't good. They're just difficult to use. Peacock is the one I pick at the most because I had to use them pretty extensively for Parks and Recreation, and it was not a pleasant experience. It was buggy and slow and like not very responsive. The app felt half made. Pay your QA developers, guys. I don't know how many app development stakeholders are listening to this show, but if you do, pay your QA developers because they are always underpaid. I swear. Pay your PMs, pay your designers, because I'm a designer. I want more money. Here's the thing.
Have you had Disney Plus though?
I have Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I have Netflix, and then I have a package deal of ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Disney Plus, I got it because I like Marvel, I like Star Wars. Yeah. So obviously there was content for me there. I don't watch Simpsons. I might have seen a couple episodes of Wizards of Waverly Place. But and luckily for me, at the very least, Disney Plus does have an app that's not half bad. I would argue it's actually a lot better than some of their competitors. But if you look at it from an average consumer perspective, one of the biggest benefits of getting Netflix is that you have access to such a huge catalog for much cheaper of a price compared to cable. However, if you want that same catalog now, you have to subscribe to like 5-6 different streaming platforms, which ends up being more expensive than cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a dilemma from the consumer perspective. And this current market model, this current market structure where everybody has a streaming platform, it's not going to last. I see this dying out within the next 5 years or so.
Really?
Yeah. I honestly think the first to go is going to be Peacock. HBO Max, I have yet to try it out, but they have a really solid catalog, and apparently their app is nice. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it myself, so I can't really say. I'm going to try that out at some point because they have a lot of cool stuff as well. But hey, at the end of the day, usually, typically, more competition, good stuff. When that competition is hinged not on the quality, but like how many things you got in your catalog, I don't see it lasting this long. So if you are a higher up in a big company that's running a streaming platform because it sounded like a cool project, you're probably not listening to the show.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It is. Same with a lot of the apps nowadays. Spotify, I'm not completely in support of what they do these days. Especially with the whole Joe Rogan situation. Do you know about that, Anita?
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah. To be frank, there was a whole nother part of that argument where people were saying artists are not paid enough, and they aren't. Don't get me wrong. They're still getting paid a lot more than the Korean streaming platforms, though. That's what I'll tell you. The ratio is a lot better. So in that aspect, these platforms, obviously, they have a lot of room for improvement. And I, as just a normal dude, I hope that changes soon. Because I don't want to pay for 3 different platforms.
Yeah. I think it's just the amount of platforms that you would have to be paying and subscribe to get almost everything that you want, you know? And I guess my frustration comes from the aspect of someone who I am not necessarily interested in everything that a certain platform offers. It's just like 1 or 2 things that I would want to check out. In this case, it being that movie. And the frustration comes to the fact that since it's a movie and typical Disney movie releases tend to go on in movie theaters, it would have felt like more appropriate to do it that way, especially because it's an original storyline and an original board. So I feel like in order to get more people to watch it and be exposed to it, it would make sense to not have it go straight to the streaming platform, since that kind of narrows it down to who will watch it, or who, I guess, how strong is the pull to go and subscribe and watch this film.
There is a level of this where I do think there's benefits to making it available through a streaming platform. If you like, there are benefits of making it more accessible into
I agree with that.
Right. People watching it from their homes. Like, for instance, if I am disabled, it's gonna be a lot easier to watch it at home than it is to watch it in a movie theater. Or just like, sometimes I'm lazy. I don't want to walk to a movie theater.
I mean, okay, now that you bring that up, I do feel like it makes sense maybe in this day and age where maybe people are not going as much to the movie theaters due to COVID.
Right. It was I think it was a great solution during the COVID era, and it still is, I think, a great solution. But I think the ideal solution is, okay, there are pros and cons to each. People have different priorities. Some people are more worried about COVID than other people. Why don't we just do a hybrid release?
Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah, just do a hybrid release. I think if you do a hybrid release, you're still advertising the platform as much as it is. just a streaming platform release. So I think I kind of agree with you. I don't think this is the best solution. I think a hybrid model would work best, especially because the film was like I know that they had to like take a lot of pauses because of COVID.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it's not the most ideal, but then again, Disney's probably looking at the numbers, their spreadsheets and their calculators, and they're seeing what happened to Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and they're like, which is better for my bank account, you know? And I get that. Companies need to make money. Whatever, I guess. But yeah, not amazing. Yeah, Turning Red.
How about you?
Turning Red. Check it out if you want to. It's about a red panda, apparently.
Oh, boy, don't spoil it.
Look, there's a red panda on the poster.
Yeah, but you gotta watch the trailer, guys. Watch the trailer, and it kind of explains what's the premise.
Dude, okay. Well, I'm just saying. I'm looking at the movie poster. I'm looking at my face on the left side of the screen. There you are, Warren, looking good. And then you have, then I have the movie poster on the other half of my screen. There's nothing but a red panda and 3 kids. So that's.
It's cute. It's really cute.
Oh no, they look cute. They look cute.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
And it's in the 90s. It has a lot of things that I would like.
You 90s person.
Yes.
All right. Next week we have.
Oh, you got nothing more?
I want pizza.
Okay. That's it.
No, I don't think there's much for me to say.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Rocket Punch. Check it out. It's really good. Wednesday, March 2nd, we have the debut of Tempest, as well as comebacks from Bang Yong-guk and Cherry Bullet. Leading into Monday, March 7th, we have comebacks from Weekly, Kim Woo-seok, and Ailey and Adora. Weekly coming back. Cherry Bullet coming back.
Weekly.
Nice. Bang Yong-guk. Wow. It's not a name I heard in a long time. All right. Anyways, is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up today, Anita?
Not much. There was something we did want to mention a little bit. And of course, it's kind of hard to ignore since it's on the news. But there's been a lot of conflict in Europe. I think a lot of people are aware of this regarding the Russian-Ukrainian war right now. So to all of our listeners out there in Europe, I know it's pretty stressful, especially because it's everywhere. So please stay safe, stay informed. So everybody out there, if you're listening, hopefully we are providing entertainment that makes things a little bit easier. The
fact of the matter is, we are not subject matter experts in terms of Eastern European politics. If you would know people that are personally affected by the situation, I hope you're able to connect with them.
Yes.
If you are personally affected by the situation,
hope you're doing all right.
I really, really hope you're doing all right. If here's the thing,
out.
I'll repeat the 3 things I said at the stream last week, right? First of all, fuck Putin. Piece of shit. War is obviously never the right answer for any of
violence.
Conflicts, regardless of what has happened leading up to that situation. That is end of story, non-negotiable for me. And I hope that is the case for you as well. Second, as someone who graduated with a degree in information science, I have to reiterate, please make sure you know how credible the information is, how solid the information is before you start believing it. Check the sources. Check the sources again. Triple check the sources. Did NBC say it on their news? That's not a credible source. Please make sure you understand. The situations like these are a complex situation where you always want to make sure you understand what you're reading about. So again, please understand the information before fully consuming it.
Or spreading it,
and spreading it to others as well. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Lastly, if you're able to support the situation, if you're able to support Ukraine in any of this, in any extent possible to you, please go ahead and do it. I cannot personally vouch for a single source of donations or volunteer activity. But if there's one that you find and you truly believe that that is the way to go, I really encourage you to do it, because they need it. They need it. Yeah.
Help in ways you can.
Yeah. So help in ways you can. But yes, mirroring Anita and what she said earlier, I do hope that this podcast and what we do through our outlets is able to help you take your mind off of things for a bit, because obviously it is a very serious and stressful situation. We provide entertainment about entertainment. So that's the best we can do, as far as I can believe. So yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add, Anita?
No, I think that's it. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Staying tuned. Thank you for staying with us for our rambling.
This is probably the end of the Anita Warren Ramble Fest trilogy. I hope. Doug's back, so he'll be back soon. So, anyways, this was SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I've been Warren. This has been Anita. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Rocket punch, rocket punch, rocket punch. Woo! Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Bagel, Based Mina, Brian, Shadow, Cotton Ball, Delmonic, Ellie, Genki Boy, Goku Mama, Jacob, Liam's Games and Toys, Luke Daniels, and Jay Parks. Tier, thank you for joining SojuTalk. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erde, Koala, Mafiar, Max, No Bias Luna, Tuggles, and Wolf297.